Good morning, students. Okay, so we were discussing the questions given on page number 216. Okay, so these are unsolved questions. First three we have already done. Today we'll do question number 4. How can three resistors of resistances 2, 3 and 6 ohm are connected to give a total resistance of 4 ohm and the B part is 1 ohm? Okay, so the first one, there are three resistors. R1 is 2 ohm, R2 is 3 ohms, and R3 is 6 ohms. Okay, so here you have to connect these resistors in such a way that the equivalent resistance should be equal to 4 ohms. Okay, the equivalent resistance should be equal to 4 ohms. Okay, how can the three resistors be connected? Okay, now it's a hit and trial method. So let this 2 ohm is in series to the parallel combination of 3 and 6 ohm. Okay, this 2 ohm is in series to the parallel combination of 3 and 6, then we will get the equivalent to be 4 ohms. Okay, now let us find out the equivalent of R2 and R3. The equivalent of R2 and R3 as they are connected in parallel. The equivalent, let us write it as R23, which is the equivalent of R2 and R3, is equal to 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 6. LCM is 6. Okay, 2 plus 1, it is so. The equivalent of 2 and 3 resistances, 3 upon 6, that is 1 upon 2, which is equal to 2 ohm. Okay, now this 2 ohm is in series to the other 2 ohm R1. So how can we make the circuit? This is R1 2 ohm and the equivalent of 3 and 6 is again 2 ohm. Okay, I am not drawing the whole circuit, only these resistors. So this is R23 and this is R1. As you can see in the figure, these two are connected in series. So the equivalent resistance of these two is equal to R1 plus the equivalent of 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 plus 2, this is also 2. So it is equal to 4. So hence we get the equivalent resistance to be 4 ohms. Okay, now the B part is 1 ohm. We have to connect the resistances, these three resistors in such a way that the equivalent should be equal to 1 ohm. As you can see that 1 ohm is less than 6, 3 or 2. Okay, so if the equivalent resistance is less than any of the three resistances, so it means all the three are connected in parallel. Okay, and if the equivalent is greater than any of these three, it means they are connected in series. Okay, so it means they are connected in parallel. All three are connected in parallel. Now let's find out. Let's take it. Equivalent of R1, R2 and R3 when they are connected in parallel. Okay, the LCM is 6, 2, it goes 3 times, 3 to the 6 and 1. So 1 upon, this is equal to 6 upon 6, which is equal to 1. So R is equal to 1. Okay, so hence we can get the equivalent resistance to be 1 ohm out of these three resistors when by connecting all of them in parallel. Okay, next is what is the highest A part, B part is the lowest total resistance that can be secured by the combination of four coils of resistances 4, 8, 12 and 24 ohms. Highest resistance we obtain, the equivalent resistance will be highest when all four resistors will be connected in series. Okay, there are four resistances given here are four resistances and we have to obtain the highest resistance. Highest means maximum resistance and maximum is obtained when all are connected in series. And the B part is you have to obtain the lowest resistance. How can you obtain the lowest resistance? By connecting all the resistances in parallel. Okay, now let's find out first the highest resistance and then the lowest. Okay, question number 5. 4 resistors given over here. R1 is 4, 8, 12 and 24. 4 ohms, 8 ohms, 12 ohms, and R4 is given as 24 ohms. Okay, let's check the values. Written it correctly. 4, 8, 12 and 24. Okay, correct. Now the A part is you have to obtain the highest resistance. We know that maximum resistance is obtained when all are connected in series. So we have to connect all of them in series. And we know that in the series combination, the equivalent resistance is given by R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4. That is equal to 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus 24. Okay, now we have find out 4 plus 8, 12, 12 plus 12, 24. 24 plus 24, 48. So what is the highest resistance? It is 48 ohms. Okay, now in order to obtain the lowest resistance, we have to connect all the resistances in parallel. And we know that in the parallel combination, 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4. That is 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 8 plus 1 upon 12 plus 1 upon 24. Hurry up, simplify it. I give you 1 minute to find out. 1 upon R3. Take the LCM. Okay, so 1 upon R3. LCM is 24. Okay, 4. How many times it goes? Hurry up, simplify it and find out the answer. Then I will solve it on the board. 4. How many times? 6 times. 8 3s are 24. 12 2s are 24. And 24 1s are 24. 12 upon 24. Which is equal to 1 upon 2 is 1 upon equivalent resistance. So the equivalent resistance in parallel will be equal to 2 ohms. So here you can check that the equivalent resistance in parallel will be less than any of these 4 resistances which are individually connected. That is 4, 8, 12 and 24 are the equivalent will be less than any of these. Okay, so we have completed the series and parallel combination. Now the next topic is heating effect of electric current. Okay, we know that, let's read it, what is given in the book. We know that a battery or a cell is a source of electrical energy. The chemical reaction within the cell generates the potential difference between its two terminals that sets the electrons in motion to the flow of current through a resistance or a system of resistors connected to a battery. Okay, we know that inside a cell, some chemical reaction takes place, due to which some chemical energy is there. That chemical energy will provide the potential difference between the terminals of the cell, and due to this potential difference, the electrons will move from one end to the other in the external circuit, and the conventional direction of the current will be opposite to the flow of electrons in the external circuit. Okay, external means outside, whatever is connected, the resistances or bulb or anything whichever is connected, combination of resistances connected, so the current will flow through those resistances. Okay, so the main source of energy inside the cell is the chemical energy. We have also seen in section 12.2 that to maintain the current, the source has to keep expending its energy. Where does this energy go? A part of the source energy in maintaining the current may be consumed into useful work, like in rotating the blades of an electric fan. Rest of the source of the energy may be expended in heat to raise the temperature of the gadget. We often observe that this in our everyday life. Okay, so this chemical energy is used up whenever the current is flowing through in the external circuit. This chemical energy is expended in two forms. Okay, the first form, some part of the energy may be used to do some useful work, like in the electric fan, the blades rotate, so this is the useful energy. Okay, like in the electric bulb, the electrical energy, the chemical energy will be converted into the electrical energy, and this electrical energy is further converted into light and heat energy. So some part of the energy is used in doing some useful work, and the rest part of the energy, it is used in raising the temperature, that is, it is converted into heat energy. Okay, that is the, in some gadgets this energy is useful, like in electric geyser, in electric iron, the whole of the electrical energy, the whole of the electrical energy has to be converted into heat energy. But like in the electric fan, we don't want the whole of the electric energy to be converted into the heat energy. Okay, so some useful work has to be done. And what is the useful work? Here, rotating the blades, that is the electrical energy is converted into the mechanical energy, that is the useful work. Plus, some heat energy is also produced. Okay, so this electrical energy is converted into some useful work, and some heat energy is also developed. We often observe this in our everyday life. For example, in an electric fan, it becomes warm if it is used continuously for longer time. So the electric fan, it becomes warm after a long use. Why? Because the electrical energy is also converted into heat energy. On the other hand, if the electric circuit is purely resistive, that is a configuration of resistors only connected to a battery, the source energy continually gets dissipated entirely in the form of heat. This is known as the heating effect of electric current, and this effect is utilized in the devices such as an electric heater, electric iron, etc. Okay, so in some of the devices, we have to convert the whole of the electrical energy into heat energy, like in electric heater, electric geyser, okay, electric iron. Okay, we need the electrical energy should be converted only into the heat energy. So what should be connected? A system of resistors will be connected, because across the resistance some heat will be, whenever the current flows through a wire, some heat is produced. Okay, so the whole of the electrical energy has to be converted into the heat energy, and this effect we call it as the heating effect of electric current. Okay, and the devices which use this heating effect of electric current, they are electric geyser, electric iron, etc. Okay, electric toaster, etc. So there, the whole of the electrical energy has to be converted into heat energy. So there will be only resistors in those, in such gadgets, there will be only some resistors which will convert the electrical energy into heat energy. Okay, now let's find out the expression of the electrical energy, okay, which is being converted into heat energy. Also, the electric power here we are going to discuss. Consider a current I flowing through a resistor of resistance R. Let the potential difference across it is V volts. If T is the time during which the charge Q flows, the work done in moving the charge through a potential difference is equal to V into Q. Therefore, the source must supply the energy which is equal to V into Q. Hence, the power input by the circuit is equal to work done upon time taken. Okay, now let's find out the expression of the electrical work done. Okay, so whenever some current is flowing in a circuit, it means some electrical energy is there, that is some chemical energy is being converted into electrical energy. Now let's find out the expression of the electrical energy. Okay, we know that This electrical energy will be equal to electrical work done. This electrical work done will be converted into the electrical energy. So let's find out the expression of the electrical work done. This is not the mechanical work which we have studied in class 9. This is the electrical work which is equal to electrical energy. Okay, we have studied that when we studied potential difference, the topic potential difference is equal to work done per unit charge. So in an electric circuit, in an electric wire, a charge is flowing, let in time t. So some potential difference is there between the ends of the wire or between the terminals of the battery, and this potential difference is equal to work done per unit charge. Okay, so work done will be equal to potential difference into the charge. So what is the electrical work done? It is equal to potential difference upon the into the charge. This expression we are getting from the same expression of the potential difference. Potential difference is work done per unit charge. So the work done is equal to V into Q. Okay. Also we know that charge is equal to I into T. Current is equal to charge flow per unit time. Okay, this charge is flowing for T time, then the current I is equal to Q upon T. So from here we get Q is equal to I into T. Substituting it here, we get another expression of the electrical work done, which is equal to V into I into T. This is another expression of the electrical work done. Okay, then we'll find out the power. Okay, if it is only the system of resistors, that is heating effect of electrical work done. This work done will be equivalent to the heat energy produced. Okay, this electrical work done, we know that work done is equal to the energy. Okay, but here in case of like the gadgets where only the heating effect has to be produced, where we use the heating effect of the electric current, that is the whole of the electrical work done has to be converted into the heat energy. Like in the devices, we have already discussed electric geyser, electric iron, electric toaster, etc. Okay, so this work done will be converted into the heat energy. So here we get the expression of the heat energy. Okay, only in the cases when it is consisting only a system of resistors in that circuit. That is, the whole of the electrical work done has to be converted into heat energy. This is the heating effect of electric current. Okay, and the devices which use the heating effect of electric current or electric geyser, etc. Okay, so where the whole of the work done has to be converted into the heat energy, this work done will be equal to the heat energy. So here we get the expression of the heat energy, which is equal to V into I into T. Okay, this work done will be converted into the heat energy. Okay, now in the numericals, if the current is not given, okay, but in place the resistance is given, the equivalent resistance or only one resistance is connected. Okay, if the resistance is given, that is we have to eliminate this current from this expression. How can we eliminate? Using Ohm's law. Okay, we know that according to Ohm's law, I is equal to V upon R. So substituting I is equal to V upon R, we can eliminate I from this expression because in the numerical, if I is not given, then you have to eliminate this I. Okay, then what do you get? I is equal to V upon R, V into V square upon R into T. So this is the expression of the heat energy. Okay, now suppose two resistors are connected in series, that is we have to eliminate V and I, R and T are given. So we have to eliminate this V. How can we eliminate this V? We know that V is equal to, again from the Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. So V square will be equal to I square into R square. 1 R and R cancels out. So what do we get the expression of the heat energy? I square R into T. So these are the various expressions of the heat energy. V into I into T or V square upon R into T, or it is also equal equal to I square into R into T. Okay, so the electrical work done is equal to potential difference into the charge. Okay, if in a circuit a battery is there across the terminals, the potential difference is V, which moves the charge Q in the external circuit. So the work done is equal to V into Q. Q can be substituted as I into T. This is the electrical work done. And in the heating and in the devices where the heating effect of electric current is used, that is, the whole of this work done is converted into the heat energy. Okay, like in the devices, electric toaster, electric geyser, electric iron, etc. Okay, where there are only resistances in the circuit. So this work done will be equal to the heat energy. Okay, and this heat energy is given by V into I into T or V square upon R into T, or it is equal to I square into R into T. So these are the various expressions of the heat energy where the electrical work done has to be converted in the form of heat energy. Okay, now write the question. Write down. What is heating effect of electric current? What is heating effect of electric current? And name some devices. Name some devices where this effect could be seen. Name some devices where this effect could be seen. Okay, write the next question. Find the expression of electrical work done. Find the expression of electrical work done. Okay, write the various expressions of the heat energy. Write the various expressions of the heat energy. Write the various expressions of the heat energy. Okay, here you will derive it. This expression we got it, work done is equal to, this work done is expended in the form of heat energy, is dissipated in the form of heat energy, which is equal to V into I into T. The other expressions also you will write down. Using Ohm's law, you will convert it in terms of V and R, I and R. Okay, write the next question, we'll discuss it just now. What is Joule's law of heating effect? What is Joule's law of heating effect? What is Joule's law of heating effect? Write its answer. According to Joule's law, okay, from this expression it is here. According to Joule's law, the heat produced is directly proportional, see from here, is directly proportional to square of the current, is directly proportional to square of the current. Okay, provided R and T should remain constant. Okay, provided resistance and the time for which it is flowing should remain constant. R and T are constant. Okay, second point, this is the, according to Joule's law, the heat produced is directly proportional to I square. Okay, it is, the heat produced is also directly proportional to the resistance. Now, provided I and T should remain constant, provided I and T are constant, that is the current and the time for which it is flowing remains constant. Okay, according to Joule's law, this heat produced is also directly proportional to the time for which it is flowing. is directly proportional to the time for which it is flowing, provided what is constant? I and R are constant. Provided I and R constant. So according to Joule's law, the heat energy produced is directly proportional to I square, is also directly proportional to the resistance. Okay, provided the other two physical quantities should remain constant, is also directly proportional to the time. Okay, now combining all these, what do we get? Combining the above three, we get it as I square R into T, equating some constant of proportionality is there, and in SI units this constant of proportionality is equal to 1. Okay, so H is equal to I square R into T is the Joule's law of heating effect. Okay, so what is Joule's law of heating effect? Whenever the current is passed through any resistance, heat is produced, that is the electrical energy is equivalent to the heat energy, or the electrical work done is converted into the heat energy, and this heat energy is directly proportional to I square, provided R and T are constant, is directly proportional to R, provided I and T are constant, is directly proportional to the time for which it is flowing, provided I and R are constant. Combining these, proportional to I square R into T, equating constant of proportionality is 1, so H is equal to I square R into T, which is the same equation which we have found out here. So this law is called as the Joule's law of heating effect. Okay, so Joule was the first one to determine this heating effect of electric current, and we found out that the heat energy is directly proportional to I square R and T. Combining, we get H is equal to I square R into T. Okay, so on page number 217, we'll read it. According to Ohm's law, okay, applying Ohm's law, we get H is equal to I square R into T. This is known as the Joule's law of heating. This law implies that the heat energy, this law implies that the heat energy produced in a resistor is directly proportional to the square of the resistance for a given resistance. Given resistance means resistance is constant, and the time for which it is flowing is also constant. Okay, second point is directly proportional to the resistance for a given current, and is directly proportional to the time for which the current flows. In practical situations, and when an electrical appliance is connected to a known voltage source, it is used after calculating the current using the relation I is equal to V upon R. Okay, so here you can see the circuit diagram, a resistance across which the potential difference can be measured with the help of a voltmeter. Current can be measured in the circuit with the help of an ammeter which is connected in series, and there is a key and a battery. So measuring this V and R, okay, and substituting in this formula, we get H is equal to I square R into T. So this is the Joule's law of heating effect. Okay, then tomorrow we'll discuss electrical power. Okay, this work done per unit time, we call it as electrical power. So tomorrow we'll continue this chapter.